Alright, what's up guys? So, I didn't really walk through the hardware side of the 0W as well as getting it up and running, so this is going to be a little bit of an easier video. Should need less context. But yeah, we got a 0W here, WaveShare v3, some BS I found on Amazon that connects to the USB, the Pi, so we can just screw these on. We've got a micro SD card, micro SD reader. We've got an adapter, which, mind you, we probably want an elbow one. I've got that coming in just because it does kind of put the connections close to each other, the micro USB connections. We have the adapter that's baked into Kali driver-wise, so we don't have to make any BS. And we've also got the 10,000 milliamp OtterBox. You can use a Pi Sugar, but they work for like 2 hours. You know, like what's the use case? You know, this is we want this to be somewhat relevant. Also, I've got an iFixit case. I don't really need it. I mean, it is 4 screws. So yeah, let's start making this, and then we'll flash it, and we'll go from there. All right. So first things first. Let's get this 0W onto this shitty USB. It's literally 4 screws, so I kind of just put these plates together, and we're just going to throw this bitch right on top with the screws. That's it. So I'm going to do this real quick. Okay, so we've got the little USB thing on here. Make sure your SD card is facing out away from the USB portion. These screws are tiny, so it's a little tedious. So I'm just going to tighten these up real quick. The little iFixit case. Ignore the 720p camera because I cannot be bothered right now. Alright. Alright, now let's see what's next. I forgot to mention, I usually run headless. Because of this reason, this was an old Ponagachi, and I actually had quite a few of my own networks on it, and it burnt in, or maybe it was the ribbon. However, if you have GPIO pins, I'm just going to show you guys how to put it on. It is as easy as this. There's these little holes right here, and we're going to simply put it on the Ponagachi just for shits and giggles, just to show you guys. Or I guess the Pi 0W is what I'd call it this time. Alright, just so you guys know, that's how it is. So we're actually just going to plug in our adapter just so it's kind of out of the way. So this is the data port, and this is the power port, so we're going to plug into the data port. We've got our adapter, micro USB to type B or type A, whatever it is, and we've got the Alpha Networks antenna. So let's flash this bitch. So you can use any flashing, I think you can use any flashing software. I forgot the old one I used to use because the Raspberry Pi one just works so well. I had some, I think it was Etcher, it was maybe the other one I was using, and I just feel like it wouldn't write every time with the microcontrollers or processors. So yeah, let's open that bitch up. And then remember to enter your micro SD card into the reader, which I'm going to do now. Alright, I'm back. I had to grab some data off of the Pi before I wiped it. So in this case, I've got a 0W, so that's where I'm going to choose it on the device. Operating system, we're actually going to choose our own. and that's going to be the p4wnp1 Aloa image, which is Kali Linux, but it's a very compressed version, which we want. And then we gotta wait for this to appear. I have to replug it back in. Oh, come on. Alright. Finally, it recognized it. So we're gonna do next. No OS, yes to this. And then it's gonna ask if we want to format it, which we're just gonna let this kind of sit here as this does its thing. And as this is going, let's look on GitHub. So yeah, remember we've already got Kali, or at least a compressed image running on this Aloa build. And this is where I actually got it. See, 2020 version. Works fine. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do with this. A lot of things. So let's just pull it up real quick. Oh, it's not on. That's alright. We'll check it out in a second. Yeah, so here's wifite as well. We can go to latest releases, grab the source. It doesn't seem like you have to make it. You can just throw it in the bin, which is nice. It's super nice. So we'll grab these, and then we'll grab this. This is also another guide I found that you guys can use. It's got pretty similar USB. It talks about just kind of how shitty micro SD cards are as well. So just keep that in mind, you know, maybe make an ISO with, you know, the RSA keys generated after, I don't know. Yeah. So I wanted to see if I could maybe get a hashcat crack before this, but this is already done, so I'm just gonna quit this. We'll do that later, and we can remove this. We don't have to unmount it. I think this program auto unmounts it, so we're just gonna grab the SD card and put it in our 0W. So here she is. I'm hoping this adapter comes on in about 5 seconds, but yeah, we're going to go to the IP, but first we got to connect to the p4wnp1 Aloa network, which this is going to display on startup, and we're just going to poke around. So after you've connected to this this network right here, the p4wnp1 Aloa, yeah, this is the part I didn't really talk about, is all this automation that's set up. You know, if we wanted to run any script on an OS, or even, you know, we can do it on a trigger. Like, let's say we wanted to do it when the access point is up, or a service start, or whatever you want. It could even be on power up. So yeah, in the documentation it has the password for the SSID, but there's a lot you can do here, and that's kind of why I didn't cover it. But this is awesome. We really want wifite zipped over to that current area. So let's SCP in. I guess we'll putty in first just to make sure everything kind of looks good, and then we'll SCP in after. How about that? So if you are on the network, what I like about Kali is you can just do kali.local, and generally you want to change this, but this is just proof of concept. It's a root tour, and yeah. Okay, and it seems like we're up. I am going to reboot this, and then we're going to join VS. Alright, change of plans. I re-downloaded and extracted on 7-zip, so we're going to SCP this bitch over real quick. Alright, hopefully this works. I CP'd it over. We're going to SSH in real quick, just to check. Oh Lord. Alright, so let's CD into Wi-Fi. Hopefully this works. We've got setup, yada yada. Let's just run setup because I've never done this before. Okay, that works. Let's do wifite2 because we're gonna test and see if this adapter is actually being seen, which I can see it, you know, the light working, which usually means the driver is being recognized, but I just like to know, you know, for sure. And there we go. This is actually something that I want to talk about. If you see your adapter come as WLAN no, it seems that when you actually run it in monitor mode, it'll disconnect you because we're connecting via wireless. A workaround I've found for that is plugging the adapter in after power has been given to the Pi. So that's just a quick trick. So if we were to actually run this, it would disconnect us. So here's proof. But, you know, in the future we're just going to power this on, put the adapter in, and we're pretty much ready to go. Yep, see. But yeah, that's how you get it set up. You know, you got Wi-Fi and p4wnp1 Aloa ready to go. So yep, here's the finished product. I'm probably going to take the screen off because I'm not a huge fan of them. But, you know, you've got a lot of use cases in a small area with, you know, not a whole lot of compute, but a lot of power. So it's pretty impressive what this can do with, you know, just under $100 worth of stuff. You know, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I'll show some other projects in the future. Make sure to get the elbow adapter, not this one, just because, look, you can see how loose this one is from being crammed over by the other micro USB. But other than that, you know, we've got a pretty solid build for pretty cheap. So, alright, we'll see you guys.